Uber has just dealt a massive blow to EV drivers driving for Uber, and they tried to disguise it as a benefit. And with people continuously complaining about ride prices getting lower and lower and lower, it really begs the question, what the hell is going on with Uber? What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Key, and if you're brand new, pronounced Key in. And man, what a month this has been for me. I have a lot to talk about, and next week I'm going to be posting an end of the month, first quarter of the year kind of follow up with all of you guys on my YouTube channel to be talking about the last 3 months and how things have been going, because I have a lot to share and I have some different plans going into the second quarter of 2024. So make sure you're subscribed and stay tuned for that one. But to everybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about with my intro, Uber recently just sent out to any drivers who are driving electric vehicles a new email, and this was also on the Uber app. So check your app as well to see if this has affected you. But Uber has announced our new zero emissions incentive, which is the incentives that Uber is giving Uber drivers in order to convince them to go out and drive electric vehicles for Uber. Previously, this incentive was $1 extra per ride for Uber X, Comfort, Comfort Electric, everything that wasn't Uber Black, Uber Premier, the premium services. And I think the limit was up to 4,000 rides a year. I could be very wrong on this one, and this may even vary by market, but I know it was at least 3,000 every single year. Meaning that if you did 3,001 rides, you would be getting an extra $1 per ride for all but that last one ride of the 3,001. But Uber has recently announced this zero emissions incentive. In fact, I actually posted about it on Twitter, and the overall overwhelming consensus is that this is a downgrade for Uber EV drivers. But let's read through a couple bits of this. Hi, Kian. Starting on April 11th, 2024, US drivers of fully electric vehicles, EVs, can earn an extra $210 after completing 200 eligible rides in an EV every 30 days through the end of 2024. This will replace the current $1 per ride incentive. So on the surface level, that actually seems like a great thing. $200 if I complete 210 extra rides. But let's hear them out on what was actually put in the beginning of this article. So one, this is replacing the $1 EV incentive. This is not something that goes on top of it. This is not a stackable bonus. This is replacing that incentive that's going away. What did it say? April 11th? So April 11th of next month, that $1 EV incentive is going bye-bye. And they said that you can earn an extra $210 if you do 200 eligible rides through the Uber app for every 30-day period. So for example, the beginning of April to the end of April, if you do 200 rides, you'll earn an extra $200. But this is actually a downgrade regardless on if you're doing less than 200 rides or more than 200 rides. So let's break it down. Let's say you're in my scenario, most likely, and you're just not going to be able to do 210 rides a month. You just have other things. Uber is part-time. You're just never going to be able to fulfill that. So if you don't get this extra $210 through these bonuses, you've essentially just lost $1 per ride for every qualifying ride that you get. This won't be as catastrophic to somebody like me because I generally take a majority of my rides through Uber Premier, which doesn't give me the $1 EV bonus anyways. But if I'm doing a challenge of any sort, like I want to take only UberX rides for some reason, or everything but Premier, then I've just lost $1 per ride for every single ride. So let's say you do more than 200 rides per month, and you get that $210 EV bonus. Hell, let's say you do 300 rides a month. That means for 90 of those rides where you get that extra $1 EV bonus, you're now not getting it. Meaning you've just lost out on $90 because there is no bonus incentive on top of this. This isn't like a quest where you can do one level and then you'll get a next level unlocked after that. It's just $210 if you do 200 rides. Meaning if you don't do 200 rides, you do less than 200 rides, then you're just losing $1 per ride for every qualifying ride, flat rate. And if you do more than 200 rides, then everything after 200 is not even worth it because you're actually still losing $1 per ride that you would have gotten without this incentive and with the current $1 per EV ride program. And here is their justification for it. Why are we changing this incentive? We believe the next wave of EV progress requires more investment to tackle other electrification barriers, including initiatives to make EVs more affordable and make charging easier. The answer that they really meant was, we wanted to find a cheaper solution so that we don't have to pay drivers as much and kind of trick them into believing that we are paying them as much. That's what they really meant. And then they give you a bunch of listings of offers if you have like Uber Gold, Diamond, Platinum, all that stuff. With charging options, the EV purchase and rental offers, which I don't recommend unless you can really make it worth your while. And especially with this program now, I especially don't recommend it. It makes 0 sense now. And to be honest, they didn't even really give you an answer as to why they're replacing this incentive, because they don't have a good one. This entire zero emissions incentive thing is just a way for them to cut costs on spending money for EV drivers. And I generally like to be a little bit more neutral and like allow people to explore their own thoughts and opinions on these subjects, but this is just such an open and shut case. Like, this is literally what's happening here. And as an EV driver myself and my market, it's really frustrating. Not because it's going to affect me a lot, but I know for a fact it's going to affect a lot of other drivers that have EVs and electric cars that don't qualify for things like Uber Premier and Premier SUV and Black and such. But moreover, it's frustrating because it once again feels like Uber is taking something that we had, that nobody had complained about, that nobody had asked to change, and they're changing it anyways. Because they're Uber. They can do that. But let me hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts and opinions about this change? Do you have any ideas as to why this may be a positive change for Uber drivers, or any ways you guys think this might be a gamifiable system that we can work through? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, guys, like I said, make sure you're subscribed. I have a very important video coming out next week. And if you want to see another video that we recently just posted on the YouTube channel, check it out over there. And with all that said and done, that's going to be all from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and stay cool.